road, thought I have to see. I looked down the road, thought I have to see. I looked down the road, thought I have to see.
Welcome, good evening and welcome. We are so glad to be coming to you over YouTube Live, and we're so glad to be here at New Vintage Church. Thank you to New Vintage Church for your hospitality. It's just been fantastic to be here. I want to start by telling a story of a text that I got at midnight last night from one of our board members, and this is what the text said. I will find you the text in 1 second. It was just up, but I had another person texting me right now. I'm praying here at midnight for our fundraiser. This is from one of our board members, and I love the fact that Santa Rosa Young Life, there's a lot of Young Life clubs have a supportive board that makes sure that we're on the right track and that we're actually reaching kids and we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. So the board member was praying at midnight last night, or this morning, for our fundraiser, praying that many hearts would be touched tonight to love kids and for them to know how much Jesus loves them. And that's why we're here. We are here because we have an opportunity to share the love of Christ with the kids that come into the Young Life world, into our realm. And I want to just let you know a little bit about what our club is doing. We're in touch with about 70 kids right now on a regular basis. We have 70 kids coming to our regular club meetings. We have 4 clubs, a middle school and a high school club in Santa Rosa, and a middle school and a high school club in Roanoke Park. And about a year, it's less than the number of students that we were reaching a year ago, because we've had a lot of seniors graduate, and we haven't had a very good opportunity to meet new kids at school because the schools have been closed. But we're doing what we can, and at least we've got the 70 kids that we're reaching. Actually, we know more. Young Life wants us to keep track of the kids we know by name. We know about 200 kids by name. But we've got about 70 that have come already this fall to the clubs, and we are meeting. We're meeting. The county has requirements. We try to stay within those requirements for the number of people and the events that you can do, and the social distancing. We're doing all of that. I love what I do for Young Life. It's a privilege for me to have an opportunity to introduce adolescents to Jesus Christ. That's Young Life's primary mission. Some of you know that I'm a cyclist, and I ride my bike as much as I have an opportunity to and try to stay in shape so I can keep up with the kids that I see all the time. And 2 Mondays ago, I was out for a bike ride, and I was giving the club talk at club that night. And the club talk kind of came to me while I was riding my bike. Too bad I'm not a lawyer. I could have written it off as a billable hour. But the talk that I gave that night was about racism. It was about what Jesus, 2,000 years ago, has to say to us today, to the young people today, about the issue of racism. And it was such a pleasure and such a privilege to be able to communicate the relevant truth, the really relevant truth that the kids are living every day, because it's a subject that's happening all the time, to say that, you know what, Jesus was against racism. Jesus took a stand against racism, and this is how we know it, and this is what he said, and that's why we're here. That's why God has put us in this position to be able to speak into the lives of young people relevant truth from the Bible, from the life of Jesus Christ. And we hope to do that every day, and because of the help and the support that you've given us, we are able to do that. We've had to shift this year our focus to a little bit more mentoring, a little bit more one-on-one type of ministry as opposed to large group ministry. And we're going to watch a video right now. A girl named Danielle, who was part of our Young Life Club for the last 3 years, graduated from high school in June, but now she has decided that she would also like to be a Young Life leader and mentor kids younger than her. So she's helping with our middle school club that is focused on kids at Willowside Middle School. We're so grateful for Danielle, and we're so grateful. And as you listen to her, as you watch her, you'll see how Young Life has been so important in her life. And now she's turning around and sharing what she's received with other kids as well. So let's give a listen, give a watch to Danielle, and we'll take it away.
Young Life is a group that comes together to support youth in learning, teaching about God's love, and exciting games that we get to play together in community. I felt very invited when I first came to Young Life, and everyone's arms were open and excited to see me, and yeah, I just was excited to be a part of a group. I've kept coming back to Young Life because it's just totally different from other teams and groups I've been a part of, because everyone is just so loving and the leaders want to be a part of your life versus it being a job or, oh, I'm getting paid to have a conversation with you. At first, coming to Young Life was more about hanging out with friends and having another just situation to hang out in. And like an excuse to go out with friends, but then it turned into more of faith, learning about how I can grow my faith and understanding more about God. My favorite Young Life memory has to be at camp the first time I went. When I saw the paddle boards, I got so excited because I'd never been on a lake doing anything really, and that really began a love for the outdoors for me. Camp is like an endless game where everyone is always having fun. There's something for everyone to enjoy, and like there's just everyone would be happy. I wish I could live at camp. I feel the magic in camp or like the excitement around it begins with the leaders really amping up the excitement with the kids, letting them know like what's there, but keeping some things a secret. And then you have an expectation when you go to camp, and then your mind is just blown by all the other exciting things. When I first got out of the car when I arrived at camp, I was greeted by all of the work crew, and that was just so exciting to see their faces before we got to see their faces in the dining hall or anything. They just were so welcoming and greeting. My own work crew experience was the most fun I've ever had at camp, because you get to see all the behind the scenes work of how camp works. It's just being able to see kids' faces when they first step out of the car to their first time being at camp, and just seeing the excitement just rush into their soul. I was in campaigners with my leader, Bex. We did campaigners every Monday morning before school, and we got to hang out at Starbucks and talk about our weeks. And I really enjoy girl talk, so yeah. I learned a lot about who God really was in campaigners and what being a Christian was all about. And it wasn't just about having coffee together, it was more of a mentorship that transformed into a friendship between us. I believe God is for me, and I believe that nothing can stand against you when you are on the side of God. I believe that He keeps my soul and my heart safe from evil. I know that I am loved by God whether I feel it or not, because everyone goes through hard times in their life, though God's love stays constant.
Awesome. Yes, that was Danielle. She's great. I got to meet her, before she had a driver's license or anything like that. Just to give you a quick insight, work crew, Danielle loved her camp experience so much that she decided to go and serve other students. So her time there was spent, passing out food to other kids, waking up at 4 a.m. to make pancakes, things like that, because she was so transformed by the person of Christ to then be able to go and serve other students and give them the same experience she had. So if I haven't met you yet, my name is Lo, and I'm involved in Rohnert Park Young Life, just south here of Santa Rosa. You're going to see more videos, and you'll hear from her leader, Rebecca, and then you'll get to hear from our lovely speaker tonight, Dave Dravecky. So thank you for showing up for our fundraiser. The way it's going to work is we're looking to raise $80,000 tonight. As I'm sure many of you know, we had to postpone this event several times, so that means we're starting with $30,000 in the bank already. So we're going to keep track of that with a lovely thermometer up here on our screen. You can see that green, yellowish line. It's all the way up to $30,000 already. If you haven't given already, we have a phone number that you can text your pledge to. It's up there on the screen. That is 707-778-1989. And so you're going to go ahead, text the amount that you are interested in pledging along with your name so we know who that's coming from. And we'll respond to you with a link to give you the access to go ahead and actually complete a transaction. So again, you'll text your pledge along with your name to 707-778-1989. And again, we hope you stay logged in, whether you're watching virtually or stick around the whole time here at New Vintage, because in true Young Life fashion, we're going to have a raffle at the end of the evening. In order to enter that raffle, if you send in that text message, your name will get entered into it. And if you RSVP'd for tonight's event, your name is already in there, so you don't have to worry about that. Up next, we have a lovely video, and it is hearing from more students that are involved in our local area for Young Life.
Since 1941, Young Life has been entering the world of teenagers to share the good news of Jesus.
Since 1941, Young Life has been entering the world of teenagers to share the
good news of Jesus.
Young Life leaders are in 102 countries.
In all 50 states. And right here in our own backyard, we have 7 clubs in Sonoma County.
Over 2.5 million kids.
No Young Life leader, but
Brand new. And we have more than 80,000 leaders today. I'm a Young Life kid. I'm a Young Life kid. I'm a Young Life kid.
I am a Young Life kid. I have a Young Life leader.
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 I was a Young Life kid. I was a Young Life kid. I was a Young Life kid.
I am a Young Life leader.
I'm a Young Life leader.
I am a Young Life leader.
I am a Young Life leader. I am a Young Life leader.
I'm a Young Life leader.
I am a Young Life leader.
I'm a Young Life leader.
I'm a Young Life leader.
Knowing a Young Life leader changed my life for the better.
Our leaders are currently reaching students in 13 schools.
Pioneer.
Alma.
Lawrence Jones. Pathways. Apex. Wilson. Rancho Cotati.
Pivot Charter.
Montgomery!
Annalee.
Petaluma Accelerated Charter Schools. River Montessori. El Molino. Pathways.
Santa Rosa!
Willowside. Tech High School.
Mentorship can reach hundreds, but Young Life begins with one.
Mentorship can reach hundreds.
But Young Life begins with just one.
One leader. Meeting one kid.
Sharing one promise.
The unconditional love of God.
Through Jesus Christ.
The unconditional love of God.
Through Jesus Christ. The unconditional love of God.
Through Jesus Christ.
Every kid deserves an invitation to that party.
Every kid deserves an invitation to that party.
Every kid deserves an invitation to the party.
Every kid deserves an invitation to that party.
Absolutely fantastic. You can just see the excitement on those kids' faces and in their voices because they have received an invitation to that party. And knowing the kids in that video and knowing what God is doing in their life makes it especially meaningful for me and Lo and Polly. I need to switch something up with the tech team because we're about to play a game show because Young Life clubs are all about having fun, and somebody who's going to be in the game show is not here in the studio right now. So if I can get a thumbs up from Crockett, because I can see you, that we want to go to the next video, and then we'll do the game show after the next video. Thank you. So what we're going to do is I want to let you know that every dollar that you give to Young Life Santa Rosa, 17 cents of that dollar goes beyond our area. And sometimes you think, well, you know what, I want the money to stay in Santa Rosa. But I'm going to show you a video right now that shows what some of that 17% donation does, what it goes for. And a lot of it is the other ministries that Young Life supports. We have Capernaum Clubs, which is an outreach to kids with disabilities. We have Young Lives, which is an outreach to teen moms. And we have Young Life International, which is an outreach to people all over the world. Their countries are not supporting the Young Life Clubs in their countries. You are helping to support the Young Life Clubs throughout this world. And so I want to invite you to watch this video, and I hope it's meaningful to you because it's been super meaningful to me and reassuring to know that we're doing our best to make the most out of every dollar that you donate. So let's give it a watch. Young Life happens here.
It happens here.
Young Life happens in Singapore.
Wherever I might go, Lord, you are there. If I climb to the sky, you are there.
Young Life happens here.
Young Life happens here. Young Life happens
in
Gibson. Young Life happens here in Belgium.
If I flew on morning's wings to the horizon, you're already there waiting.
Young Life sucede en Venezuela.
Young Life se passe ici. Young Life se passe au Mali.
Young Life geht ab in Deutschland.
And so we meet you there, Lord.
Here.
In the neighborhoods, the villages,
Young Life happens in Haiti.
the city streets.
This is Young Life Zimbabwe. Bulawayo, Young Life is here. Young Life Ayobi, Masalo. Young Life happens here in Bogota.
Young Life happens in Nairobi, Kenya.
Young Life happens here in Sierra Leone. Young Life is
To be your hands and feet, to share your truth and love through word and deed.
Young Life
Here!
Young Life. Ghana. Young Life. Totom is Young Life. Lafia. Young Life RBC. Young Life happens here.
Thank you, Lord, for going before us, for meeting and sustaining us as we walk with young people in their journey with you.
Young Life happens here. Happens here. Young Life.
Okay, fantastic. We are ready to go with our game show. And so what I want to do is, first of all, I need 3 volunteers. And so I think I might be able to, if I just cover my eyes a little bit with the light, be able to see some hands go up. So Mandy Foster, thank you so much. Would love to have you helping up. And I can't tell if that's Steve or Margaret Bear with your hand up. Which one of you? Oh, it's Steve. It's Steve, and that's great. And then Jared Hayes. So you guys, if you'll follow Lo out that stage left, that is stage left, and she will get you all set up. And this will be fantastic. You know, I've always wanted to be a game show host, and this is really as close as I can get. Although I was on a game show. I was on Scrabble with Chuck Woolery way back in the day. Ask me sometime, and I'll show you the video. So they are, some of you have seen this side of the stage. You guys can go ahead and put the lights on it. There's some things under these towels. And so what the game is that the contestants are going to come, they're going to take the towel off, and they're going to name the object that's under the towel. Now, I need Corey Foster, if you don't mind, to come on up here and be part of the fun, okay? So I'm just letting you guys know in the studio audience, you know what it is. It's like that. And the next person is going to come by, and they're going to see that. And the next person, and then they're not going to see the basketball. No. Corey, if you'll come around behind, you're going to sit down on the ground. And, yeah, just right in there. That's good. Yeah, and then you're just going to put your head up. There you go, so you can see everybody. Sit up, you got to sit up a little. You know what, you might have to go on your knees. Yep, there you go. That's going to be easier. And this will be perfect. Yeah, just here, I can give you a towel. You all right? Okay. Ski, it's an old ski injury. You want a towel? I'm good. Okay, all right. So here's what happens. When they come by and they think it's a basketball, you're going to yell at them. You're going to scream at them, okay, and try to scare them. All right, you ready for that? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to just bring this a little tighter here, and I'm going to put this on top of you, okay? You cool? Yeah. Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. Okay, so Lo, I think you might know that we're ready for the first contestant, and we are going to, I'm going to put my mask on for this part of the program. And hear it for Steve Bear. Come on down, Steve. Okay, how you feeling tonight?
Good.
Okay, so Steve, this is your basic game show, and your job is to go over to each towel, take the towel off, and identify the object, okay? You ready for this?
That's it?
Yeah, and if somebody will put a clock on him, maybe you can just, because we're going to time you, and then the contestant who does it the fastest gets the biggest prize.
So just go through a name?
Just go through one at a time. Okay, on your marks, get set, start here, go.
Peanuts character. Baking soda. A sprinkler.
Fantastic. Let's hear it. That's good. Steve, have a seat. Okay, that's exactly right. Okay, we're going to come down, and we're not quite ready. Second contestant. So how you holding up? Okay, that was perfect. You're getting the award tonight for the best actor. Okay, and we'll just go like this, and not quite ready for the second contestant. And here we go with the second contestant. Hide that. Okay, Lo, you can bring out the second contestant. Thank you, Trevor. So you couldn't hear that at home, but 21 seconds is the time to beat. Okay. He had trouble with one of them, didn't he? Okay. This is a young man who is wearing his Young Life shirt. How you doing? Tell everybody who you are.
I'm Jared Hayes, and I go to Young Life.
Yeah, way to go, Jared. The object of this game is to take the towels off of the objects and name that object as fast as you can. Are you ready?
All right, let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. Come over here, and I'll tell you when the clock is going. You take a towel off, and you name it. No, in front. Okay, on your mark, get set, go.
Pumpkin. Woodstock. Baking soda. Sprinkler.
That's good. No, you're good. You don't have to do that. Okay, that's good. Stop the clock on there. That's perfect. That was perfect. Okay, Jared, help me. Okay, here we go. Yeah, help me get these towels back up, will you? Okay, love that. You know, this one's easy because all I have to do is read it. I think I'll turn it like that. Okay. Okie doke. We're all set. This looks good. I'm going to make sure that it doesn't give it away. And you're doing great, Corey. Thank you. All righty. Let's hear it for the third contestant now. Bring how many? 15. That's good. 15 seconds. And now for the third contestant. Come on down. Let's hear it for our third contestant. Put your hands together. Yes, sir. Okay. And tell everybody your name.
I'm Mandy.
That's right, Mandy, and we're so glad you're here. The object of this game is to go along the tables and take the towels off of each object and tell the microphone what that object is. Are you ready?
I think I can do that.
Okay, let's start right here. You go on that side of the table. And, yeah, go ahead. On your marks, get set, go.
Pumpkin. I don't know. Woodstock. What is that? I didn't even know. Arm & Hammer baking soda. Yes. Woohoo. A sprinkler.
Fantastic. Fantastic. We love that. We love that. Here you go. Give him a towel. Give him a towel. Yeah, you had a feeling. Yeah, that's good. We love that. We love the fact, Young Life is all about marital harmony. And we're so glad, in case you don't know it, that Corey happens to be the loving husband of Mandy. So, and I think Steve and Margaret Bear are happy that they didn't end up volunteering for the, yes. All right. Very good. So you guys, thanks so much for being good sports. Jacob has gifts for all of our contestants. So, sorry, I didn't say that before. It's a authentic San Francisco Giants baseball cap signed by Dave Dravecky. And I'm just going to put the microphone down because I have another mic. So we are honored tonight to be able to host Dave and Jan Dravecky here with us. And Dave I've heard him, a recording of him sharing his story. And I'm sure that let me do this. And I'm sure that you will find it as compelling as I found it. I remember Dave, of course, when he was pitching for the San Francisco Giants and the San Diego Padres. But the story of his life goes well beyond baseball. So we're going to just invite him up now without further ado. Dave, so glad you're here.
Thank you so much. It's so good to be here. That was a hoot. I have to tell you guys that I wish you were all here. I'm getting a little tired of talking into cameras. I want people and faces, and yet we have to be respectful of what's going on. And so I appreciate so much of what Young Life is doing tonight in being able to make this happen. I want to share a brief part of my story that I think will tie in to what I think the theme has been as I've sat and watched the videos and had an opportunity to meet so many wonderful people tonight. There's this thing that has been so impressive to me personally about Young Life that directly intersects with my journey with Jesus. And it has to do with relationship. It was back in 1981, and I had been traded from the Pittsburgh Pirates to the San Diego Padres. And I had been sent to AA baseball in Amarillo, Texas. And to be honest with you, I had no idea where Amarillo was at. Somebody said it was in the panhandle of Texas, and quite frankly, I said, "What's that?" And so off I went to Amarillo, Texas. And it's really interesting because at the same time that I was being traded from the Pittsburgh Pirates to the San Diego Padres, a young man by the name of Byron Ballard was being traded from the New York Yankees to the San Diego Padres. And it just so happened that Byron and I ended up being roommates at the Holiday Inn in Amarillo, Texas before the season started. And so as we spent time together, I had the unique privilege of watching this young man live his life. And it was very interesting to me. See, I was brought up in the church. I was brought up to respect God, to go to church, and my family did a very good job of trying to get us to church every Sunday. Prior to my trade to Amarillo, Texas, I had played 2 winters of winter baseball in Colombia, South America. And I was so alone there that there were a group of guys that were from America. There were 7 of us that were there. And I felt so lonely while I was down there after my wife would leave and go back to the States. And I started getting invited to these guys from America who were having Bible study. And I thought, my gosh, why don't I just go hang out, because at least I'll be with people. I didn't want to be alone. So I went, and so I have this background of an awareness of God, and then all of a sudden I'm in this place where I feel all alone, and I'm now hearing guys talk about the significance of their relationship with God through Jesus. And that was all good, but it was just the reality of me finding what I needed in that moment. And what I needed in that moment was to not feel like I was alone. And yet I was hearing all these wonderful stories. And now fast forward, here I am in Amarillo, Texas, and I'm hanging out with Byron, and all of a sudden one day I happened to notice on the bed in our hotel room a book. And it was called The Handbook on Athletic Perfection. And I thought to myself, what's this kid got that I don't have? Because I want to be the perfect athlete. I want to be able to go out there and I want to win more than I lose. I want to be successful because I've got a dream to get to the big leagues. So this kid's got something I need. And so I asked him about it. It was a little book that was written by Wes Neal. I had no idea what the contents were, but I loved the title. You know, we all were fighting for jobs and wanting to be the perfect athlete. And all of a sudden, he looks at me as I asked this question. I said, Byron, what is that? And he goes, oh, this is a book that was written just to help me journey through my career as a Christian. I said, oh, really? And he looks at me, he goes, yeah, are you a Christian? I said, well, I go to church. He goes, that's awesome, Dave, so you're born again. And I looked at him and I said, Byron, there's no way. That's that Jesus freak stuff. I don't want any part of that. He said, cool. It's okay. And Byron just continued to establish this relationship with me. And I was overwhelmed by that because he didn't force God on me. He didn't pressure me to make a decision. He didn't do any of those things. He just simply loved me well. And then one day he came to me and he said, I want to challenge you with something. And I said, what's that? He said, would you be willing to read the scriptures to discover who you are in relationship to God? And I thought to myself, well, why wouldn't I? I go to church. I should pick up this book and read it. So I looked at him and I said, yeah, I'd love to. And so he challenged me to go in and start reading certain scripture. And then he looked at me as he challenged me and he said, look, if you have any questions, come to me and I'll do my best to give you an answer. But he said, I want you to know one thing, Dave. I may not know the answer, but we can go to people that I know who might be able to help us find the answer. And I thought, my gosh, how honest. I mean, he was just helping me on this journey, this same journey that he was on. And over the course of that summer, as I read scripture, the reality of what God did for me through his son, Jesus Christ, became real. And all of a sudden, all those years growing up as a boy and going to Mass on Sundays at Christmas, and then going to Easter Mass, became real. Because the Son of Man, the Son of God, came to this earth as a baby. And then, through his life, he came to that place where all of a sudden it was time for his ministry to begin. A man who knew no sin, perfect, showed us the way to life. He was mocked and he was ridiculed. He was beaten. And then he was nailed to a cross so that you and I could have life. And when I ran into that message, I was overwhelmed by the amazing love that God has for you and me. And by the way, this has nothing to do with the church label. This has everything to do with your heart. And for me, that summer in Amarillo, God got my heart. Ephesians 2, 8, 9, and 10 says this. For it is by grace you have been saved through faith, and this not of yourselves. It is a gift of God, not by works, so that no man can boast. But then Paul says this. In the New Living Translation, verse 10 says, "For we are his masterpiece, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." That relationship with Jesus started because a young man by the name of Byron Ballard started a relationship with me. And he loved and accepted me right where I was at in my story with God. And as a result, in a way, he led me into the loving embrace of Jesus. And for that, I am eternally grateful. To think that I, as a follower of Jesus, am his masterpiece is amazing. And that can be the same for you. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Dave. Hey, we're going to hear from him one more time this evening. But before we do, we've got a couple more things for you. Up next, we have a video from another one of our students. This is Derek from Pioneer High School.
Young Life is a place where you can go to have fun and learn more about faith. When I was a kid, I would always go to Sunday school, and after a while, we had to stop going as regularly because my brother, sports had us traveling a lot. Young Life gave me an opportunity to get back into regular touch with faith and helped me truly realize that I believe in God. The person who invited me to Young Life was Polly. During the cross-country season, she came to one of the practices and invited most of us to Young Life. For the first time going to club, I was very skeptical because I didn't know what club was about. But once I went, I had a lot of fun playing all the games, meeting new people, and learning more about faith. I kept going to Young Life because everyone was incredibly nice and made me feel welcomed, and it was hard to not come back after I had so much fun the previous times. I've won multiple raffles at club. The most memorable are donuts and money off of camp. Some of my favorite Young Life memories come from Woodleaf Camp. These include going on the ropes course. When I went on a run, I explored the area, which was really fun, and I had a lot of fun going to the campfires. The daily schedule includes a lot of free time, but also set aside times for you to go and learn more about religion and sing some songs. I think the thing that's magical is it's not like any ordinary camp you go to. It has a lot of different experiences for each person, and you can do anything that fits your style. I feel like I've been mentored in Young Life because I see all the volunteers that help make Young Life possible, and they truly believe in faith and help me realize that I can believe in faith when it's really hard to. Young Life has helped me with 2 difficult scenarios in my life. One of them was a few months ago, my mom had to get open heart surgery. It was really difficult for me, but I continued to pray to God, and it felt like someone was there for me. And then after I started going to Young Life, I found out I have a bone tumor in my tibia, and I was really worried because I didn't know the severity of it. But Young Life helped me understand that God is with me during these tough times. My bone tumor won't stop me from running cross country. It's in a spot where I don't feel pain, which lets me do things that I would do in my regular life. I do feel loved by God because He's always there when the tough times that you need Him. If someone who never knew about Jesus went to Young Life, they would know that He's an amazing person who sacrificed His own life to help release us from our sins.
Don't you just love Derek? I do. Just so thankful to hear from him. My name is, thank you so much for coming and being a part of this evening with us. And my name is Polly Hayes, and I am on part-time staff with Santa Rosa Young Life. I get the privilege of working being the team leader for Rohnert Park Wildlife, which is our ministry with middle schoolers, which is a blast. Middle schoolers are up for anything, so we have so much fun with them. But now it is time to take a look again at our thermometer to see how we are doing. All right, we're making some progress. That's awesome. Good. Thank you so much. And just a reminder for those of you, if you still need to text in your pledge, please include your name with your pledge so we know who is giving it. One thing about Young Life that's really important for you to know is that one of the crucial parts of it is our volunteer leaders. We could not do Young Life without our volunteer leaders. And so what I would like to do now, with any further ado, is to introduce one of our all-star leaders, volunteer leaders, Rebecca Ellicamp.
If someone asked me what Young Life is, I would describe it as a place for kids to have fun and to hear about Jesus. If you were a kid asking me why you should attend Young Life, I think I would just say, why not? What better thing are you doing on a Monday night that is so much more fun than what we're going to be doing? At the very least, you'll get some free snacks. Being a Young Life leader has helped me grow in my own faith by allowing me to re-examine those questions that kids are asking me, the big ones about life and God and the world. And it's refreshing to kind of be forced to go back and answer those for myself again, even though I'm many years into my faith journey. My college fellowship was definitely an anchor for me in a lot of tumultuous water, and I would want that for any of the kids that I hang out with in Young Life on a regular basis. A place to ask a lot of questions and to be pointed in a positive direction. When I am hanging out with kids, I try to be the leader that I wish I had in high school. I so desperately wanted someone to come to my games and be around and to celebrate my achievements and accomplishments. And of course, my parents were amazing and so supportive, but I really craved that presence of a mentor. I had youth group leaders, but I want to be even more involved than they were when I was in high school. When I was in college, my college pastor's house was a safe haven. It was cozy, it was welcoming, the door was always unlocked, and it provided a space for me to come and decompress and organize my thoughts when I was faced with difficult decisions in becoming who I am today. My college pastor and his wife, shout out to Craig and Megan, always offered me wisdom and helped me find clarity on questions that didn't necessarily have a right answer, but they always pointed me back to Jesus. And that was the path that I ultimately followed when I was in college. And that's why I'm sitting here today, because they just gently guided me and encouraged me. And the most important part, they loved me no matter what stupid decisions I was making in school. And that's what a mentor does. Being a leader is really awkward a lot of the time because we occupy a space as adults that we don't see in society. Very few of us, I think, could point to a stranger showing up in our life and just wanting to love us. And so our job description is very simple. It's to be present and to love kids, which makes it very easy to adapt that to all different types of kids and situations and areas, but it also leaves a lot of room for just the awkwardness of life as kids try to figure out who we are, what we're about, and come to trust us. If someone had never heard about Jesus and started attending Young Life for a little while, I hope that they would take away at the minimum that Jesus loves them deeply and desires a relationship with them.
Okay, it's me again. That video was absolutely amazing because it reflects something very important about Young Life. There's a statement that I use often when I speak and I tell my story and I go into greater length. And that statement is, it's not what you do that matters most, it's who you are. And when you understand who you are, it will affect everything you do. And so, one of the things in listening to her message was the reality of some very important aspects of the journey of these young boys and girls, these young men and women. I shared with you in my testimony that I'm his masterpiece. But I also want you to know that after 64 years on this planet, I'm still becoming that masterpiece. The beauty of Young Life is that as it builds relationships with kids, as it steps into the one-on-one with kids, as it focuses on mentoring these young men and women and boys and girls, it's about helping them first and foremost understand who they are. Life is not about what you do, it's about who you are. That's where it all starts. And it starts with Jesus. And as you begin that journey with him, it's this relationship where there is a place that is safe to be able to grow and mature, to become the masterpiece that you already are. Because when you embrace Jesus, you don't just get a piece of him, you get all of him. But on this journey of life, it's all about maturing into this beautiful person that he has now made you through his transforming love. And so when I think about Young Life tonight, there's a very important question I want to ask all of you. It's really cool to see how this is all working and the contributions are coming in to help meet the goal. And you know, I'm a baseball guy, so I use baseball analogies. And the reality is that tonight, I really hope that for me as a pitcher, it would be a perfect game. But you know what? That just doesn't seem like it's enough. It's got to be a grand slam. And so it's understanding tonight as you're watching, no matter where you're at, it's understanding first and foremost who this organization is and who it represents. And then it's realizing this very important question. Are your kids worth it? In a day and age where there is so much pressure being placed on our young boys and girls, men and women, all over this world, they need the help to navigate all of this. And it's letting them know how much Jesus loves them and helping them to enter into that story that he'll begin to write as they mature and then face the stuff that life will throw at them, knowing that they can trust Jesus in that journey. So are they worth it? And I happen to believe that they are. And I happen to believe that you believe that they are. And so tonight, as you think about Young Life, as you think about the impact of this wonderful ministry in the surrounding areas of your communities and the impact that it's having on your kids, don't forget how much they're worth in the eyes of God. And step up to the plate and hit the grand slam. You know, before I walk off, I do have to say this one last thing. Go Giants. God bless you all.
Okay, so I'm going to invite Lo and Polly back up with me. This is the slideshow is over, and after we find out how much the fundraiser has raised, we are going to do a raffle. So we're getting that ready for the raffle. Lo, what do we do next?
So just so you know, it's not too late to give. This phone number is a real phone number, so if you want to continue to text in your pledges, you can do that later this week. You can do that whenever you sit down and watch this recording that your mom emailed you. That number is a real phone number, and we would love if you continue to text any pledges to that. Tonight, I don't have any batting averages for you, but I do have some fun numbers from this event.
Before you get to those, I just want to say that when Dave was speaking, it was fun for me to see him in that role. I've always thought of Dave Dravecky as a starting pitcher, but he came into our fundraiser in middle relief, I hope you noticed, and then he was actually the closer. So I don't know, Dave, how many saves do you have in your career? 12 saves, but you can add one more to it, 13 saves, and thank you for closing us tonight. Lo is gonna run us down. You know, at the end of every baseball game, the Giants announcers, Dave Fleming and John Miller and Kruk and Kipe, you know, they go through the box score, right? You know, how many runs, how many hits, how many errors. So, Lo, you're gonna give us the box score for tonight.
Yes, so our first number is our number of donors, and we had a fun little run up here to the stage, so I'm going to try and do some quick math. But our total number of donors was 43 people giving tonight, so thank you to those 43 people. Our most common donation amount was $1,000.
Wow.
So, yep. And that brings our average, minus some math that I have not done, to $1,675. So on average.
The average donation.
The average donation, yeah.
700? What did you say?
1,675.
675. Wow. Okay.
Yep. But I do not have the grand total here in my hand, but our lovely friend Michelle in the tech booth can throw it up here on the screen for us.
Wow.
We got $70,367.
Fantastic.
Yes.
That's okay. Maybe not the grand slam, but that's at least a triple with the winning run coming in from first base.
Exactly.
So thanks a lot. So what we're going to do now, and I just want to say thanks to you who are watching, thanks to you who will still watch. And listen, if you're watching a recorded version of this fundraiser, you can still text to that person on the other side of that text line, and that person will still give you instructions on how to make a donation to Young Life. So we have a raffle for people who have participated. We had several people call in pledges, 43 apparently, all total tonight. So all those people are registered for the raffle, as well as some other people who, for whatever reason, you know, they weren't able to make a contribution tonight. But I don't know how many people are actually in the raffle, but we have 3 raffles. And Lo, if you'll tell us what's in the first raffle container.
Great. Looks
And
like
then
Jeff
Polly, you
picked the
can do the
bag,
second
so
one.
if it's not good, it's his fault. Looks like we have some signed Dave Dravecky Giants hat. We've got a $15 gift card to Acre Coffee, and something to drink that coffee in is a nice Giants, almost Giants colored coffee mug.
So we put your names on the raffle wheel, and we're going to show the raffle wheel up here, and we're going to take a spin, and we don't know who the winner is, but we're all going to find out together. So we'll have the first raffle wheel go. All right. There's a bunch of names over there on the right-hand side. That's not all the names, but the raffle wheel is spinning, 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 and it is who? It is who? Carl Tucker! Carl Tucker is the winner of the raffle! Carl is not here tonight, but Carl, we know how to find you, and we will deliver you your cup and your Giants hat signed by Dave Dravecky and your Acre Coffee card. Polly, tell us about the second raffle.
All right, no surprise here. We have a signed Dave Dravecky hat and a awesome purple Young Life bottle. I would hope my name comes up for that. And my favorite, Chick-fil-A, $30.
All right, so there you have it. And let's put up the second raffle, spinning wheel of fortune, just to see where it lands. The Bohals were so close to that first one. Yeah, right next to Carl. In fact, I thought it was on the Bohals. Yeah. All right. And the second winner for tonight's raffle is, I can't see who that is. Oh, it keeps going. Dave and Trish McCall. Dave and Trish. All right, we're going to get this to you, Dave and Trish, and we are so grateful that you participated in our fundraiser. So I'm going to bring up the third raffle contents. Oh, that's the second one. That was the first one. And we have Dave Dravecky Giants hat.
That's a new color.
Yeah, that's black on black. Are you sure this isn't? Oh, yeah, that's just like mine. I love it. Except for mine's from the 2010 World Series. And then we've got a Young Life coffee mug. And then we have a gift certificate to Stark's Restaurants. They only have like 7 restaurants in Sonoma County for $100. $100. Aren't you glad that you're a part of this? So let's take a spin of the wheel and see where it lands, shall we? Hopefully you can see this out there in YouTube land. And it's going to land on somebody's name. Chris and Sheila Morrissey. Chris and Sheila, we will be getting to you. Yeah, let's hear it for all the raffle winners. You know what? Everybody's a winner with Young Life, so thanks to all of you who are here, thanks to you who are watching, and thanks to our tech crew. We couldn't have done it without you guys, obviously. And now we've got food awaiting, so we're going to go on out and outside and eat our wonderful dinner, Oliver's lunch boxes, and until we see you again, God bless you all.